Hello, my Teaserking family. How is everybody today, tonight? I am fine, happy it's Friday. It's funny when you're not working, you don't even know what day it is. And when you're working, you get into this system where you have to get up at a certain time, usually, unless you're working, like if I'm doing Teaserking. All right, a second. So unless so you're up, you got to set the alarm and wake up, and it's Monday through Friday, and you work X to Y, and then you're like free. It's like you're in prison all day, except for you making money. But this is different. This is pleasure, the economics and football and everything. But that's the way the day works, right? So you're kind of, oh, it's good. It's Friday. I don't have to go into prison Saturday and Sunday. Not that it's prison, but you're kind of being controlled. You have to come in these times. And what do you want me to do and all this, as opposed to here, it's just I do what I want. Although I listen to you guys, but I do what I want. All right, let's look at gold. Back to 27.15. And we had a little drop at about 8 o'clock to 10, about 10. Not quite 10, but at 10 o'clock, they bought and they called the option up from way back. And there it goes. And it just flew from 26.80 to 27.15, up 42 more dollars. Silver 31.34. So if you can make heads or tails out of derivatives, let me know. It's Eddie Murphy. It's when it's low, they're going to buy it. And when it's high, they're going to put it and sell it short. And they make money both ways in a derivative. This is why it's still on COMEX. But since they interfered with gold saying, we got to take delivery, it's blowing up gold. That's why you see gold do that. So it should be 3,000 by the end of next week, I believe. Silver's still fucked. It's still caught by JP Morgan. It's still COMEX. It's not delivery like gold is. There's a huge shortage where there's all these people wanting silver and there's no silver. So the price is nowhere where it should be. It's being price fixed worse, but gold's still price fixed. And again, because the government doesn't want you buying gold because they can't control you and they can't make money off of you. I think it's more they can't make money off you than the control part. Because how can Wall Street make money off of you if you're buying a ton of gold, 32,000 ounces, and you're just holding it? Where's their commission? So they want you in this stuff where I'm going to buy Amazon. Oh, now I'm going to buy Bitcoin. Oh, okay, great. We'll make money off of you. Notice how you buy Bitcoin in an ETF, not like, hey, I'm buying ounces. So keep that in mind. We'll get more into economics in a minute. But I do want to point out the gold price back to 27.15. So what the fuck was 25.30 all about? It went from 27.70 to 25.30. 3-4 days in a row. News, oh, gold's down again. Gold's down again. I don't hear gold's up again. Gold's up again. Back to 27.15. Next Thursday and Friday, the U.S. doesn't play because of the holiday. It'll probably hit at least 2,900, if not 3,000. But it's going up because of demand. See, we understand why. Even though it's derivative, if there's all the demand from all the central banks, obviously the price has to go up because it's limited. You can't print it. That's why gold's been around. I love when these guys try to explain it. It's like, look, morons, it's not that difficult. It's limited. There's a lot more demand than supply, and everybody wants it, and that's why the price is going up. And the reason it's been around is because you can't print it because it's gold. It comes out of the ground. Not like toilet paper here where they just keep printing and printing and printing. That's why they don't want gold, because they can't print and print and print. And this is the problem. That's why governments want to have the printing presses, because they're in charge of the money. So of course they're gonna bankrupt the country every time, because they keep printing it. Because they don't understand that if they keep printing it, it's going to be worthless for some reason. Even though it's happened since the Roman Empire, why they can't catch this concept, I don't know. Or they, because they figure, well, I'll just keep printing it, and I'll have the money. Yeah, but it'll be worthless. And this is the real problem. So this is what you must understand. So you see 2715, it's 10 times this. It's going to get there. It just, you must understand, why did it go down? Nobody sold an ounce. You heard Mark McGuire. Nobody sold an ounce of gold. How does anything go down if you don't sell it? If nobody sells my Mahomes card, why would the price go down? You can't. I mean, it can only go down if more people are selling than buying. But in gold's case, nobody's selling. It's just these stupid derivatives. So it's highly illegal. I don't know what Trump's going to do. But Bitcoin's not the answer. Bitcoin's not money. I based this to a guy at work. I said, all right, Bitcoin's 98,000. Would you rather buy a Bitcoin for 98,000 or buy a Rolex or a Mantle card for 98,000 or 45 ounces of gold? Well, I did. I bought the gold. You can hold the Rolex and you can hold the Mantle card. Do you know what you can't hold is the Bitcoin? And if you buy it for 100 grand, where do you think it's going? If I buy 100 grand of gold at 2,700, I know it's going up 10,000. So not only am I gonna double my investment, but I can't lose on it. If I put 100 grand into Bitcoin, do I really think it's going to 200? Or do I think, and that's 100%, I know my gold's going to go double. Will my Bitcoin double? That's the thing. Hey, Luke. Not much. How are you? At least I can read your message today. We had problems last time, and I apologize, but I couldn't read anybody's. Anyway, so that's the thing. So let's say you buy Bitcoin now at 98,000. Where do you think it's going? What kind of profit return on investment are you going to have? Or you can put the 98 grand into a Rolex, a Mantle card, or gold and silver. So that's really the from a pure investment standpoint, is Bitcoin going to go to 200,000? Really? Rolex only goes up, Mantle cards only go up, and gold and silver is about to double. So it's pretty easy. Now this, I think Jason, I think is his name, came in last week to class and he asked, he's a young kid, should I just buy a bunch of silver? I could buy a little of both, and I suggested he buys both, because in this situation, gold goes up $42 today and silver went up 49 cents. You're going to get frustrated holding silver. I know this. I have silver. I get frustrated when it goes up 49 cents versus the gold goes up $42. After going down 200, what it was, 27.70 down to 25.30, went down $240. And now it's basically got 210 of it back. And we'll have the rest by the end of next week. It'll be probably close to 3,000. Getting ready for Putin December 1st. Well, we'll see, to announce gold-backed currency. So hopefully Mark McGuire gets this one right. But it's definitely coming, because he's got to pay for the war and he can't do it. But so that's the thing. It just bounced back. So you can make $200 on your gold. Now, gold is not a stock. You are not trying to make $200 and sell it. You are getting out of dollars is what you're doing. You're getting out of this bullshit monopoly money. And you look around, well, I can buy euros. No, you can't buy euros. These aren't worth anything either. Oh, I'll buy Swiss francs. No. I'll buy Rolex. I could buy Rolex. I'll buy Bitcoin. Well, so really your only option is gold and silver. That's your get off the Titanic thing. So that's really what you're looking at. Isn't currency all about demand? No, not really. Bitcoin seems to have it, but Bitcoin's not real. It's all going to come back to roost soon. Patience is needed before the gold standard. What a long ride it's been. Well, it's manipulated. See, if Bitcoin was manipulated, it'd be at $5,000. And that's my point. Why are they letting Bitcoin rise but not gold? So the government's not afraid of Bitcoin, but they're definitely afraid of gold. Well, why is that? Because gold's real money and Bitcoin isn't. And why do the central banks buy gold and not Bitcoin? They could have bought Bitcoin because gold's real money and it's real and it's limited, and Bitcoin is not real money. Bitcoin's more, I trade it to Bobby. I trade it to Nick. And we trade it amongst each other. So it's not really money. It's sort of like me trading a baseball card to them. But money is something I could go buy an airplane ticket in a hotel. I can't do that with Bitcoin. So it is not money. That's the problem with it. The government kind of makes the money. Now, gold will be its own. It is its own money. It's in the Constitution. We've seen that over and over. So that's really the point of it. Chat discount. Okay, I'm back. Bitcoin. Okay. It's all going to come back to roost soon. Well, it's not patience. See, you're looking at it wrong if you're looking at patience, because you're not buying gold as if it's a stock. You're buying gold because you're getting out of dollars. You're Rumpelstiltskin. You're turning dollars into gold. You're turning monopoly money into gold. That's what you're doing. You're not. It's to get out of the dollar is more important than to buy the gold because you think the gold's going to go up. But we're going to get a boost. The gold's going to go up because everybody's going to jump into it because there's no other option. You can't go British pound or Swiss franc. You can buy a Rolex, but what do you do with it? Okay, it's worth $100,000. You can buy a Picasso or Van Gogh. They're worth a lot of money, but what do you do with it? So that's really the problem. Gold is money. So, and I'm sick of this argument. Can you take gold to the grocery store? Okay. Do you take a Picasso to the grocery store? Do you take, I don't know. Do you take your Mickey Mantle card to a grocery store? Of course not. That doesn't mean they're not worth anything. They're assets. They have value. So that's the stupidest remark you can get is, well, you can't take gold to the grocery store. Well, I don't want to take this to the grocery store either. This is worthless. The grocery store still takes it. I'll spend it there because it's a pile of shit. So understand that you got to get out of the monopoly money. And when I see people on YouTube say, "Oh, save your cash, save your cash," fuck that. You don't want to save your cash. You want to get the fuck out of the cash before you can't buy it. I went to the gold store last Saturday. The guy barely had anything. He had 3 ounces of Eagles, 1 ounce of Cougaran, and he had like 5 or 6 tenth of an ounce Philharmonics, and I bought 3 of them. So when I left, all he had was a few ounces. He says, "That's it." No, it's what people bring in, and that's what he has. And that's people are running out of gold because they're spending it so they can go to the grocery store and go out to dinner and pay their bills, the older people. Obviously, it's the older people coming in with the gold because the new people don't have it. People like me and you, we're not turning it in because it's not a stock. It's money, and we know that. The people don't want fiat anymore. Well, I think people are understanding the debt. $36 trillion in debt. People understand. There's a lot of business people, right? And they understand, and all the bankers understand that's not good. The dollar's going out. You can't pay the debt back. So they're running into Bitcoin. I'm not sure if they're running into it or it's Larry Fink running it up, but people are, I don't know why you would think, well, I guess you're in Bitcoin because you see the price go up. And when you look at gold, you don't see the price go up. But you don't understand that gold is price fixed, and it's very, very limited, much more limited than Bitcoin, and easily traded. I mean, I know I could in Germany, Italy, anywhere in Europe or Switzerland or probably Russia, I can trade with it. I can go to a coin store or jewelry store and give them the gold. I bought Jenna gold when I first met her in the Ukraine. We went to a jewelry store and I bought her like a $300 bracelet. Back then, gold was not that expensive. So it's a $300 bracelet. And I'm sure she could. So gold sold. He couldn't sell me a Bitcoin. Well, Bitcoin might have been around back then, but he couldn't do that. So that's what I'm saying. If I go to a jeweler and I give him, how much will you give me for this 1 ounce gold eagle? I'm sure I'll get something for it. Probably pretty close to spot, maybe not spot because I'm in a different country and I might be desperate. So he might know that, but basically if spot's 27.25, 27.15, I probably get 2,700. And that's the point, and two, getting Bitcoin anywhere, you can't, because you've got to, I guess, sell it out of your wallet. And then the only way to get the money is to put it into your bank. So that's going to be in America. Now, maybe you go to an ATM and you could get a little bit of money for it. So if you're in Austria, you're going to get euros for it. So I guess that's one way, but you can't be in Austria and get euros with it unless you have a bank there. It's got to go back into your bank. That's the only way. Hey, Alex, good evening. Are you playing, Alex? Are you, we'll do the private? It's up to you. I know it's pretty brutal college, but pros I did good. I have a big college week coming up, and I am playing today. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, like I said, it's $100,000. You're gonna buy, first of all, do you have 100 to buy on a Bitcoin, and where's it going? It just ran. Why would anybody buy it at this level? So let me see. Are you playing? I don't see an email from you, so let me know if you are or you're not. It's fine. Whatever you want to do. Gold and silver will have its day when the manipulation stops. It's having its day right now. Gold is. Silver will be soon behind. The thing is, Bitcoin is easily transferable, liquid to convert back into any currency. Now, you say that, but I don't understand that. All right, so you're in Europe. How are you going to make it into euros? The only way to get rid of it is to bring it back into your bank in America, unless you have a bank in Europe and in every country, which I doubt you do. And then you got to go to an ATM and exchange it. You can't just be in Europe and say, oh, I want to take 10,000 of my Bitcoin, give me euros for it. You don't have a bank there. You can't just go to a bank. Banks don't take Bitcoin. And let's not forget, try it in Russia or China. They don't even take it. They don't allow it there. Alex, yeah, too expensive. I bought some Ripple back in March. It's up over 300%. It's the last couple of weeks. What is Ripple? Is that also a Bitcoin thing? No, you don't need a bank to transfer it. Sure you do. XRP, what is that? So I have a Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, good call. So I have a Bitcoin, and we're in Barcelona, and I use this XRP, but I don't know what it is, and I don't even know if it works. So I use this to do what? I don't have to go to, how do I get the money? It's just appears out of magic. Ripple XRP is a cryptocurrency. Oh, yeah, again, another currency. A lot of cryptocurrencies. You guys are out of your minds. So if it's a so how do you get your Bitcoin? You want 10,000 Bitcoin. You're on a vacation in Barcelona. How do you get how would you download Bitcoin to XRP? You buy XRP, and then how do I get the euros? Banks don't cover this. I can't go to the bank and say, hey, I got XRP, give me 10,000 euros, and they're going to laugh at me. You have to buy it with Bitcoin. So you buy it with Bitcoin. How do you get the euro? So there's another transaction I got to make. So it still doesn't make sense. So I buy XRP. It's a cryptocurrency. You have to buy it with Bitcoin. So I have my Bitcoin, $10,000. I buy XRP, and it's going to cost me something. How do I get euros? When you have Bitcoin in a wallet, I don't know what a wallet is, you can convert it with other cryptocurrencies. Okay, sounds like another Ponzi scheme. Okay. You still haven't explained how I get euros with it. And where do I get the euros from? If I don't have a bank account in Barcelona, I don't know a bank's going to give me money. So what does it just come out of thin air because that's what it is? I mean, you're not making any sense. We're in Europe. How do I get euros? So I go and I have Bitcoin, and I then have to sell it for XRP, which costs me money. Now I have XRP. How do I get euros? If you send Bitcoin to your girl's wallet, what if my girl doesn't have a wallet? I won't let her have Bitcoin. She can take it and transfer it into her own currency. What if she's not? What if I'm just there? What if it's just me on business? So I got to transfer it to somebody else. Sounds complicated to me. If I just have my money in the bank, I just go to an ATM and get it. Seems a lot simpler. So I can send it to my girl's wallet if she has one, but she doesn't. She can take it and transfer it to her own currency. Okay, so she has Ukrainian currency. How does that help us in Europe? Well, I like gold and silver too. I wouldn't touch something fake like Bitcoin or this XRP or ABC or Sam Bankman-Fried or the Crypto Queen and all. Nothing I've ever heard of digital that's ever been real, because it's not. If you can't hold it, it's bullshit. Alex, it's actually very easy. Oh, okay. Tell me. You would just use your bank, just like everyone else. You take your ATM card and go into the bank in Barcelona and make a withdrawal. You can sell your crypto in an app, but don't I have to download the crypto into my bank, Comerica here, and then use my ATM? The app converts crypto to currency. Then it deposits it into your bank account immediately. Then you withdraw the funds. Right. So it's got to go back into my thing, and then I'm using the ATM. So don't tell me I can get, you're making it sound like, well, if I'm in Japan, I can get yen. I can't get yen. I got to put it in my bank account and use the ATM, which is what I do anyway. So if I have my money in Comerica or Chase or whatever the fuck account, I got to use my ATM, and there's a big fucking charge to use my ATM. I bought 200 euro I didn't do it in Italy. No, I did do it in Italy. It cost me 200 euro in Italy, cost me about, I want to say $270 to use my ATM to buy euros in Italy. The app converts to currency, then it deposits into your bank. Then you withdraw the funds. No. What's no, Alex? So, I mean, pretty much I have to get dollars to then use the ATM to get that. Yes, you would have to use your ATM, but isn't that normal to get cash? You use your bank. Well, of course, but that's not what guys are telling me. You're telling me I can use my Bitcoin and get money in any country in the world. That's a fucking lie. I have to take it back to my bank. And then as you're saying, use the ATM as if it was regular money, using the ATM in Italy or France or Spain or wherever the hell we are, and just using the ATM to get the money, which is exactly my point. But don't try to sell me that I got Bitcoin. I can go in Spain and pull out euros. I can't. That's misleading. What you're saying is it's got to go back into your bank. And what happens when the bank closes or the dollar goes out? Then you're all fucked because you have all the money. Luke, I'm not picking on you. This is an example for all the Bitcoin heads, but it's a good class. So this is the point. You cannot be in Europe and get a euro, or be in Switzerland and draw a Swiss franc because you have Bitcoin. It has to go back into your bank, into dollars, and ATM it. What if the bank closes? There was a bank last week, Oklahoma, I think, and they did a bail-in. They fucked everybody. They didn't. It was a small bank, but they fucked everybody, and that's what's coming. I show you those China videos, right, where the banks. I got 1 million yen in that bank, and I can only get 3,000 won. I have 1 million won, but I can only get 3,000 won out because the bank won't give me the money. That's what's headed to a theater near us, right? As these banks go under, now what are you going to do with your Bitcoin? And if Coinbase, which is bankrupt, goes out, how are you going to transfer it? Or you can use this XRP, I guess, but how are you going to do that? Okay, Luke, at this point, you mostly still need the brokerage to convert. Exactly. Back into dollar. Right. You have to go back to dollars to then go. So it's not like you can use it anywhere, which is what is misled. Not only that, try paying for a hotel in Spain with Bitcoin. It ain't going to happen. It's not made for, that's why it's not money. And I argue about that. If it was money, I could go to the Hilton in Barcelona and say, yeah, I got Bitcoin. I want to pay for the room. And they would take it, but they won't. Neither will the restaurants, neither will the airports. That's my point about it. It's not money. It's a person-to-person transfer, much like the Venmo or the PayPal we use to pay me. It's the same principle there. So just understand, don't say you can go to any country. It's got to be going download into the US, and the download's bankrupt. So you're going to have real trouble. And then when you think you're going to move 100 grand into your bank, so as the dollar dwindles to nothing, and as the banks start dwindling to nothing, you have 100 grand in Bitcoin. How do you get it? Transfer it to my bank. My bank's closed. The money's gone. Now what do I do with the Bitcoin? How do I get, and what is it? Because it's $100,000. Well, we don't have dollars anymore. Now what do you do with your Bitcoin? It ain't gold, and nobody in their right mind's trading gold for Bitcoin. No way, no how. It's not going to happen. I wouldn't sell an ounce of gold for a Bitcoin for all the tea in China. So what do? You're fucked because, and I asked that question, and Luke said a Bitcoin equals a Bitcoin. That's not an answer. The Bitcoin equals nothing. It equals thin air. It's not gold. Gold's gold. If I have gold, I don't care what happens to the dollar. This goes out, I don't give a shit. I got gold. That's what I keep telling you, Luke. You're going to buy a house with 2 ounces of gold. You're going to buy a house with 2 Bitcoins? How? It's not worth anything. And this is what nobody's following. The money is going to zero because these idiots are printing it to zero. You cannot keep printing and printing and printing and not lose the value. And to show you an example, I used yesterday. Pepsi was 10 cents in 1971 for a 12-ounce can. All right, maybe it's a 16-ounce can now. You know, you go to the checkout and it's in the cooler and it's $3. Well, wait a minute. It used to only cost 10 cents. Why doesn't it cost 10 cents now? Because the dollar isn't worth what it was in 1971. So it takes $3 to buy what you used to buy for 10 cents. And we do it with cards, we do it with gold, we do it with houses. It doesn't have the value it did in 71 or 81 or 91. It doesn't have any value. It's basically worthless. So any investment you have in dollars, you're fucked. Stocks, the real estate, the house will hold, but you'll buy it with gold. The stocks are worthless. You'll never be able to get the stocks out. You think JP Morgan or whoever runs these stock houses are going to let you have the money? No fucking way. You're fucked. Your friend with the 401k is so fucked. He's got 4 million monopoly money. And I'll tell you, after going to my gold store last Saturday, he ain't going to find $4 million worth of gold to buy it with. He'll find an ounce here and an ounce there. Maybe he can spend 50,000. What's he going to do with the other 3 million? Wallpaper his house, like in Germany? The main thing is it's a true supply-demand computerized currency. You can't print more. No, I don't. It's not supply and demand. You can't tell me why the price is going up. You think this is demand driving the price up? Prove it. It's why people are moving to it. People are moving to it because it's going up. That's the only reason. They're just like Madoff. Why did people go into Madoff? Because they get that return. They're making money with it. That's why they're in Bitcoin. They don't understand it. I don't understand it. It's nothing. It goes up. There's no reason it goes up. This is not demand driven. This is not supply driven. This is not free market driving it up, just like gold's not free market driving it up. That's the point of it. It's not going up because of that. That's why I scream bloody murder with gold. If gold would go up because of supply and demand, it would be at $25,000 an ounce. This is my point. It is price fixed. This is Larry Fink running his little stupid derivatives and options, running the price up. This is not supply and demand. You got to be kidding. Why do you think like that after my courses? Everything is manipulated, Luke. Oil, all the commodities, gold and silver, Bitcoin, all the FXs, they're all price fixed. Don't be that naive, Luke, and I know you're not. They're all price fixed. How do you think they come up with the value of the euro versus the dollar? It's totally price fixed. There's the euro and the inflation of the dollar and the euro are huge. Alex, I'd sell an ounce of gold for a Bitcoin in a heartbeat. I guess I'm not doing a good job teaching you. Pay 3x for 100,000. Poor Alex. Okay, I got to work on you. I'm not talking about now. I'm talking when Bitcoin goes to zero. So listen to the whole conversation. When Bitcoin goes out, and it won't be valued in gold because nobody in their right mind is going to give you an ounce of gold for a Bitcoin. Not at 100,000. When Bitcoin goes to zero because the dollar goes to zero. When the dollar loses all value, Bitcoin's worth nothing. You're going to give your $3,000. Well, by then it'll be a $10,000 ounce of gold for a worthless Bitcoin. Be my guest. We will be going back to a gold standard soon. In 2 weeks, Putin's going to a gold back for Russia. So it's very soon. Alex, I'm in stocks too. Rocket Lab USA bought at 5 and it's now at 23. Okay, Alex, what's your strategy? When do you sell it? Do you have a strategy when you sell it? Or do you just hold it and then it goes to 30 or 40 and you keep holding it? Because when you play roulette and red hits, you think red's going to hit 500 times in a row. What's your strategy? So this is like betting football or playing poker or playing blackjack or craps. You have to have a strategy. This is about making money. Okay, gambling's about making money, not just, oh, I hope I buy something for 10 and it goes to 100. Then that's very naive that you think that's going to happen like that. So I'm glad it's making money. At what point are you getting out? When do you take your profit? Let's teach gambling right now. Luke, when it does gold, silver to the moon, because you won't be able to get it, because it's limited and because the demand's huge. When all the central banks are buying it, it's already going up. But when the real people like us, well, we've already bought the gold. But when all the Chinese and, well, they buy, when all the Germans and Brits and half of Europe and Asia start buying gold and they can't get it, I'm not giving my gold up for 3,000. I'm not giving it up for 10,000. As long as I'm working here and I got my gold, you want to give me 10 grand? Now this happened at the store. It was 2,000 an ounce. I won't forget this. And I had my Eagles, and I already bought them. And the guy at the store goes, "Oh, we need some Eagles. I'll give you 2 grand for your Eagle." And I go, 20 grand. You give me 20 grand, I'll give you 1 Eagle. Not 2 grand. You're not getting it for 2 grand, because why would I give it away this cheaply? It's like silver. I can go to the barbecue place and get the order of ribs and pay them in silver, which is worth what, $32 an ounce. But why would I give it away at that cheap price when it's going to be $1,000 an ounce? Because I know where it's headed, because as you're just saying, supply is limited and demand's huge. That's the key to it. So once the supply, you can't get any more. But once the demand goes, now everybody's in Bitcoin. They're all going to lose their ass. Everybody in Bitcoin who just bought at 96, 95,000 is going to lose their ass. It's going to be a Bitcoin nightmare. It's going to be a Madoff nightmare, just like Madoff. Oh, I lost all my money, my college money, my house. Oh, my kids can't eat. Da, 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 da. That's because you're a fucking idiot, right? At some point, you need to take profit. At some point, you need to make money. That's what this is all about. Fuck off, potential spam. Alex, I'm holding for long term. I believe the space industry is in infancy. Okay, how are they gonna work without money? And where are we going? We're all running to Mars because the planet's gonna blow up and Mars is safe to go to? Do you see, I'll put it to you in Austrian economic terms, do you see a big demand for space? And if so, what is it? Because I have no desire to go to the moon or the Mars or get on a spaceship. It's hard enough for me to get on an airplane. I think Rocket Lab will be the Lockheed Martin in a few years. Stock splits, dividends, well into the hundreds in price. Based on what? Are you hoping, or is there a secret door that you understand about? I'm not trying to be hard. I'm trying to get you to understand what you're doing. So you have to have a method to your madness. Why do you think that? Where's the demand? It's like electric cars. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody wants an electric car. All these companies are going broke. GM, Ford, who got into the electric car business. I was at Harley and I had to leave because they were losing their ass in electric motorcycles. So be very careful that you make these assumptions. You must understand about the assumptions, right? You must know what is going on, why you're making it. Is there demand? Is there a market for it, right? So when Toyota raised the Camry to 35,000, I went in and I laughed at the guy. I go, the market's 24. That's where I bought it at. I'm not going to pay 35 for a Camry. Neither is anybody else. And then I walked in, it was down to 27,000. So you've got to understand the market. So if there's this demand, which I don't know where you're coming up with this demand for, It might be the greatest thing in the world, but if there's no demand for it, like electric cars, it ain't going to do anything. So I fail to see. You're hopeful it's going to be Lockheed Martin. Says who? Says you, but why? So just use logic on me here. Why? What is the demand and price in the market for this? I don't even know what product. A rocket? We're all going to buy rockets and go to the moon. The world is going digital with conversion of value. I see the U.S. going back to treasury notes backed by physical gold, making the currency strong again. It's not going to make the currency strong again. It's the gold that makes it strong. So where is, you're saying the U.S., I'm talking to Luke now, where's the gold? The treasury notes backed by gold. Where's the gold? We don't have any gold. And unless we raise the price of gold, start buying it back from China and Russia, we don't have any. You cannot have treasury notes. Then why don't we just make the dollar backed by gold? Is this a Trump thing or what? We don't. That's obvious. We do not have it. If we had it and you wanted to do an audit, I would show you. You go to me, Howard, do you have a Mahomes card? And I go, yeah, look, there it is. And if you say, Howard, do you have a Mahomes card? And I go, yeah, I do, but I can't show it to you. Then I don't. It's simple. You are going to prove that you have it by showing it. We have gold. Prove it. Show me. Oh, well, I can't. I can't let an audit team. Why not? What's it going to hurt? Because you don't have any. So I know you keep thinking we do, but prove it. Have them prove it to you. Let them show you. And you're going to take the word of the government. The 9/11 people, that was a gold robbery. The people that said we went to the moon, the people that said JFK was assassinated by some guy when it was the CIA. I mean, this is the people you choose to believe. Okay. The attack on the January 6th was now shown to be FBI and CIA agents who led it now. Nobody, it wasn't Trump going go. It was the CIA. And they're all going to get fired by Trump. I can't wait. So you're like Alex. You think we do. Show me. Prove it to me. Let me see it. You got the gold. Let me see it. Because I know we don't. We don't have any. China bought it all. It's all been bought by China. That's what they call hypocricated. I can't think of the word. Anyway, it's gone. It's sold to China. That's why they don't show it, because they don't have any. They fucked up in the late 60s and printed too much money than gold, and they had to, all the countries came and took it. Apparently, we had 27,000 tons until LBJ and Nixon's decided to go on a printing scream to pay for Social Security and pay for the Vietnam War, and we went from 27,000 tons to 8,000 tons. Do you think it stopped there? No, I don't think so. So we don't have any. And if we do, prove it. Show me. Because you can't, because we don't. If we did, you'd see it. And I don't know whose word you're taking, but I don't buy it. If we had it, we'd show it. And because we don't have it, we don't want to show it. Because if people realize we don't have any gold, let's go to Money Heist. What happened in Money Heist? The professor blackmailed them by saying, I'm going to tell the secret, you don't have any gold and all the money will be worthless. And they let the professor and the gang go because people couldn't know they didn't have gold. They replaced it with brass. It was brilliant. That's what's happening here. We don't have it. If we had any, then they would show it. But in Spain, in the Money Heist series, of course, they can't show. They show it, but it's brass. But you can't. You've got to prove that you have the gold backing the money. And if you don't, it's all over. And it's already all over because nobody believes it anyway. If you watch Mark McGuire and Egon, they say the same thing. If we had it, we'd prove it. As anything. You'd ask me, well, let me see Daria. You have this hot Russian girl. Let me see her. And I said, no, 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 I can't show you. That means I'm bullshitting. But because I show you the pictures of Daria or Jenna, then you can see, yeah, I do. There's the picture. So I can prove my case, and that's what they need to do. And they won't do it because they can't, because they don't have any. So don't be so quick to jump that they have it. Don't be so naive, Luke. You're not naive. Don't be naive. We don't have any. If we did, we'd show it. And that's what Russia's banking on in China. They know we don't have any. So when Putin comes out with gold-backed currency, Trump's got to come out with gold-backed currency. If Biden leaves him anything after Biden's up to destroy everything in the next 2 months, this whole war and everything else. Did you see my latest post after I think we do? No. It says, I think we do. And then it says, do you see my last post after I think we do? No, I only see I think we do. And that's all I see. So change the words around or misspell some things. I'll figure it out like Bobby always does. But that's all I see is I think we do. I know we don't. And if you had it, you would show it, especially with the amount of gold China and Russia have. I was listening to Mark McGuire. Don't waste your time. He had 3 idiots on. They had Andy Scheckman and some other 2 idiots who don't know anything. Well, I think China's got 20,000 tons. No, they got 80,000 more on. And Russia's got 20,000 and India is close to 20,000. And Saudi Arabia probably has about 10 because they got a lot of money. So that's where we're at with it. So the gold price is, again, it's like the stock market being 44,000. Do you really believe it's worth 44,000? Our economy's that wonderful? Are you kidding? We're almost in a depression now. What was it? Bosch just laid off 7,000 workers, and all these other companies have been laying off and laying off. We're in a recession, but because of the election, they couldn't say that. And so they've kept the stock market high with phony baloney crap. It's all a bunch of derivatives and options. It's not nothing. It's not even real money. And it's just all bullshit. And I feel like I'm watching a movie where they're kind of scamming the people. And I keep bringing up the Nazis. Oh, come on. We're going to go take a train ride, everybody. And all the Jews walk onto the train and they don't know where they're going. Oh no, we're gonna go take a little train ride. And they end up in the concentration camps. And that's exactly what I think. I'm seeing that so clearly that this is such a scam, this Bitcoin thing and the stock market being high. Everybody's going to lose their ass. And then they're going to try to bail you out with CBDCs and stay away from them. Now, we're in gold and silver. I don't give a fuck about any of that. I don't even pay attention. I'll be sitting in the break room and I'm watching and they have Bloomberg on and the ticker. Somebody will walk in. I go, this is just a fucking fantasy. This is War Games with Matthew Broderick, where they're doing the nuclear war games, right? I go, this is exactly it. This is all bullshit. None of the prices are real, and they're all done with inflated dollars. So none of it's real. The only thing that's real is the gold, which is being held down, which when the shit hits the fan is going to break and go wild. So we're just waiting for that. But we know that's the ending. Hey, G. Well, I feel really good about college tomorrow. I got 1 lock in college and I got 1 lock in the pros. So I got 4 games. I might lock another one. I'm debating about it. I'm trying to get the feel, but I like the college. I gave you the free play of Indiana over Ohio State at 13.5. Now it's down to 10. They must be listening to my free play. I can't explain it. I don't see an injury, but all of a sudden, Ohio State's 10 over Indiana, and I gave the play at 13.5. That's the free play. So I might win a free play. I'm so excited. You'll love the college lock. It's adorable. again, attacking some Z teams and a lot of the Big 12, which we know tends to be high scoring. And I don't know what to do with the Colorado Kansas game because I like Kansas a lot. But Colorado has been on a tear. They've been covering and playing good. So I don't know. I don't want to really bet against Kansas, bet against Colorado, but I want to bet against Kansas either. They just beat BYU. So there's a lot of good games. But I feel good. The pros are the pros. I mean, I'm dominating the pros. 7-2 last week. And if Boza doesn't go out, it's 8-1. And the only loser is KC, and 8.5, lost by 9. So yeah, the lock, you'll love the lock. It's a good lock. And then the other plays are pretty standard. Some totals. Be careful of the Niners. Brock Purdy hasn't practiced. Joey Boza's questionable at the hip. So be careful. I was going to go over on the Green Bay Niner game, and I got to be careful now because if I don't have Purdy and I don't have Boza, I got McCaffrey, and how good is the backup? It was an over with Purdy and everybody, but now I'm tentative. I might play it cheaply on Sunday, but I got about 6 good pro games. A1 is shadow, banning my post. What is A1? A1 is shadow. Did you see my last post? I said no. After I think we do. No, I didn't see that. And then you're coming up with A1 is shadow. When you say shadow, I think of Lord of the Rings, the darkness. Is the Dark Lord back? Is that's what's happening? Banning my post. But AI is shadow. But why? I mean, just misspell them. AI is too stupid to pick it up. I hate AI. Didn't you guys watch Terminator? Like, do you think anything good's going to come out of AI? Really? I mean, what? They can do things quicker than it? Yeah, but they can't do what I do. AI cannot pick football the way I pick football because it's a lot of gut instinct. It's all these other factors going in, like backs against the wall, an injury, off of a loss, off of a win, off of a big game. Like the BYU game, BYU, a very emotional game with Utah. I knew they'd be flat. Can AI do that? I don't see how. That's a very logical move, and I don't AI is not logic. So I don't get the big thing, and I don't like anything. It's just like I don't like the digital. I don't like where we're going. The digital shit is not real, and this AI is very dangerous. I don't need somebody doing my work for me. I am very capable of doing it myself, and it ain't gonna pick football the way I pick football. So anyway, I did play a game tonight, so let's get into a little football. Let's see. So is anybody Alex, are you playing or are you going to play tomorrow? Whatever you're going to do. But we don't have to look at gold price because the market's closed now. All right, let's get into. So tonight, Temple UTSA has already gone off. I did bet UTSA. They're 16 down to 10. And Titus said, why do you like them? And I says, because they are lighting it up. They've scored 40 the last 3 games. They killed North Texas last week and did go over for us. And Temple's a Z team with the 35. And I said, Temple, when they play really good offenses like that, are getting blown out. And the spread's only 16. And it's in UTSA, which is Texas San Antonio. So unless the guys from the border start playing, that's what I took. So I take UTSA -10, but that game's already started. The 8 o'clock games, Michigan State 14-49. Yeah. Michigan State 14-49 to Purdue. Purdue, the Z team. And Vegas 7.5, 59.5 to San Jose State, which is a pretty good game. Vegas needs it to have any hope, but they lost to Boise, so Vegas is probably out of it, but still want to play. San Jose State's not that bad of a team. They're an E with a 26 defense. Vegas is the A team. So that's tonight's games. Let's just go over big games tomorrow. Well, whatever you want, Jay. I'll just let me know and I'll email you the password. Luke, it's crazy that they can do it live time. Yeah, I can't explain it because I just read that one. So I don't know what you're saying that's causing it. Just spell it wrong and then they won't pick up on it or just change it. Alex, I bet UTSAT over 35. Well, that'll be easy. They'll be in the 50s. I just laid 10. I don't go with the team totals. I either go with the game total or I take the team against the spread. I never play a money line in football, never ever in my life. I don't want to. I don't believe it. And then the team totals. I mean, yeah, and I checked the weather seems okay. So yeah, that's they'll be in the 40s. I can't imagine. Again, Temple with the 35 defense is a Z team. So you did it against the right team with the weak defense. Miami needs the game 24.5, 66, 67. Well, that moved up. That was a 64. Good God, man. 67. North Carolina 2.5, 52 to BC. I don't want to get into these smaller games. Ole Miss in Florida. Ole Miss is up to 12 and 55. This was a 10, so this went up to 12. You can still get it under a touchdown. And 55. I don't know that Florida, they beat LSU last week, but LSU is just kind of a passing offense. Ole Miss, the quarterback can run, Dart, and their defense is so much better than LSU. Those two defensive ends that killed my Georgia team, they're going to make it tough for Florida, and they have to win to get any hope. I think Ole Miss covers this game pretty good. Ohio State, Indiana, that's the free play. I got 28-27 Indy. Ohio State 10.5, 52.5. Now, even though this is incredible, it was 13.5 down to 10.5. The incredible part is people don't believe Indiana because they didn't beat, what are they supposed to beat? Oregon. They killed Nebraska and they killed Michigan State. And they beat Michigan and they beat Washington. They killed UCLA in the Rose Bowl. I don't know what you want them to do. They play the teams on their schedule and they beat the fuck out of them. Here you got Ohio State, who in the big games lost to Oregon, barely beat Penn State, and then barely beat Nebraska, who Indiana killed. So I'm not buying that Penn State's that good. I'm buying that Indiana's better than Penn State based on watching them. I'm watching them play, and their offense is just – it's a beautiful offense. They have crossing patterns and guys wide open and good running, good quarterback. Ohio State's got their hands full, and I don't see – they're not going to just run around this defense. Indiana's got a really good defense. So I was torn between taking Indiana at 19.5 or taking the under 58. And I'm still kind of torn by it because I don't think this is going to be high scoring either. I think this will be a lot like the Penn State game, but Indiana winning it. The weather's cold here, so it's got to be cold in Ohio. It's really cold. It's probably like 35 here and windy, a little windy, not too bad, little wind. It was raining, but it stopped. And we're getting the same weather as Columbus. And Michigan's at home, and it's cold. So, we'll see. But again, I don't know. Remember, in California, there was this big rain for 3 days, like 25 inches of rain. So I don't know if that's recovered. Seattle Seahawks play Sunday, and I don't know what the weather's like there at this point. And it is an outdoor stadium, so be careful with the weather now. It's mostly getting cold, but that doesn't really affect the outcome, only the wind. Keep that in mind. So I think Indiana's going to play right with Ohio State. They're going to try to prove something. They got the better coach by a mile. The quarterbacks are fairly equal. The defenses are fairly equal. And actually, Indy's got a 14 and Ohio State's got a 10. However, they gave up 33 to Oregon. So in the big game, they didn't play the 10. So I got A plays A, we take the dog 100% of the time. We got A playing A, and this time the spread is fucked 13.5. That's insane. I got 19.5 in Indiana. I mean, this is crazy. Thank you. That's all I can say is I'm staying stoic. I'm reading what my line is. And my line is Ohio State -7, only because they're at home. I got 28-27 Indy winning, and I'm sticking to it. And that's my gut, and that's your training. So I think that's a pretty good. And you're giving me a double teaser because I should tease 7-13. It's 13-19. We'll see what happens. I'm scared. It's a free pick, but we'll see. SMU 10-56 to Virginia. They have to win it. Forget that. Rutgers 2-47 to Illinois. Who cares? Iowa 3.5, 42.5 to Maryland. The way it's going, Maryland will win because it's whoever's at home wins the game. It's crazy. Georgia 42-55 to UMass. I mean, that's just a ton. I mean, I know Georgia has been playing rough, and they get the high school team here, UMass, but yeah, it's a lot of points. Tennessee, same thing, 41-52 to UTEP. If it was a night game, I'd be all over Tennessee, but it's an afternoon game. The crowd isn't going to be drunk enough, so I think they handle UTEP. I'd like to see them play UTSA because that would be a good game. Liberty, Western Kentucky. This is for the winning the division. Liberty 1.5, 56.5. This should be a live dog in Western Kentucky. I don't care. TCU, Arizona. I am stumped on this. TCU 10.5, 59.5. Ooh, it's down from 12. Who is betting Arizona? I don't know. And 59 hasn't moved. So, well, Texas, what's the weather there, Alex? It should be good for TCU. Arizona, they've been shit, and all of a sudden last week they came alive against Houston. That's because I locked Houston. So we'll see there. Normally I take TCU over every week, and I win every week with them. But I'm scared to go over with Arizona because they haven't been scoring. And usually TCU, the reason you go over with TCU is their defense it's a 28 defense. So they're going to give up a lot of points, but you can't stop them. They got a great coach. So I don't know what to do with this game because I don't know which Arizona team's going to show up because Fafita has not been playing well except for last week. So maybe a couple of injured guys came back and they're playing well. I don't know. Oh, excuse me. Let's go. South Alabama, 23.5, 54.5 to Southern Miss. Why am I stopping at this game? Because my lock last week was Texas State over Southern Miss, lane 20, and they won 55-3. That's why. Moral of the story is just bet against weakness, Southern Miss. So, go South Alabama. They're a pretty explosive team. They are an over team with the 25 defense, and Southern Miss, their quarterback's so bad. I feel like Don Rickles, he's got 0 touchdowns and 8 picks. This is how bad Southern Miss's quarterback is. maybe he can run a little bit. So that's what you got against South Alabama. But 22, you lay 16. Wow. Good one. Texas Tech, Oak State. Texas Tech 4.5, 65.5. 3.5 goes to 4.5. 67 goes down to 65. Oak State just hasn't been. Ali Gordon hasn't done shit, and Texas and Oklahoma State's not scoring. They played TCU and they only scored 13. So it's hard to get to 65 with Oak State. They're not as a, and Texas Tech, they beat Iowa State 24-23, so they could play strong defense, and they do have running. And if Ali Gordon ever runs, I have a guy at work from Oklahoma, Stillwater, Oklahoma State, and he says his son's out and he sees Ali Gordon and he's hammered. He's drinking and drinking and drinking. And that's Ali Gordon's problem this year. So I got it from the horse's mouth. So I'm not over on this game, which would normally be an automatic lock over, but I don't trust Oak State. I think almost takes me to Texas Tech, but I can't trust them either. Utah State, the explosive team against San Diego State, they're laying 561. I think Utah State beats them. They beat Hawaii by 50 points last week, so they're scoring very good. Wisconsin, Nebraska, I don't care. Nebraska's 1.5, 41.5. I think, I don't know, probably an under, but it's hard. Nebraska played Ohio State good. They played USC pretty good. Wisconsin played Oregon good. So depends what team shows up. Cal Stanford, the band game, 14.5, 53 for Cal. Stanford woke up last week and killed Louisville. It's so complex. What the hell's going on? You're not getting consistency. You're getting up and down and up and down. It's crazy. Penn State, Minnesota. Penn State 11.5, 45. Minnesota is a good team at home. Their quarterback's playing well. Penn State, what do you say with them? They're really out of it, I guess, because they lost to Ohio State. Oregon's undefeated. Indiana's undefeated. So if Ohio State beats Indiana, Penn State's out of it because they'll both have one loss, but Ohio State beat Penn State. And Ohio State gets Michigan, and that is triple revenge. We are going to bet a lot if we can get a normal spread. So we hope Michigan wins by like 30 this week over Northwestern, and Ohio State loses to Indiana. And then it'll be a nice low spread, and we can jump on Ohio State next week. Georgia Southern, Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina, 2.5, 58.5. I think this is a good over if they play. See, last week they didn't play. This week, all of a sudden they'll play a 70-point game, and you're like, I can't figure it out. North Texas, East Car. I love this game. I love it. 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 North Texas is 2.5, 72.5. And I looked at East Carolina, and they're an over team. And I said, why are they an over team? They don't have a good quarterback. North Texas, we know all about. This is very explosive. And so I looked into the details of East Carolina, and they switched quarterbacks on us. They brought in Cam Rising on East Carolina, and this Cam Rising is like Cam Rising. They're putting up 45 points a game all of a sudden. They are a very live dog in this game. The over is 73. At first, I didn't understand it. Now I go, oh, they'll get into the 90s here. So this should be a very explosive game. I think East Car is a live dog because they're going to score. And North Texas with the 36 defense, I can't bet on them. And then the 73, I think you're going to get into the 90s in this game. So you've got to keep cognizant of the quarterback switches, right? That's what they do. Air Force did it. And, some teams do it and you think, oh, this is the team. Well, look at the team in the pros. I mean, I can't think of the team. I don't know. There's so much switching in the pros, but Well, look, when Andy Dalton took over for Steve Young, all of a sudden Carolina's scoring, and then they're back to Steve Young, and they're back to not scoring. Anyway, Michigan 10.5, 36.5. This is very cold here. Both under teams, but it's such a low total at 36.5. Michigan wins, maybe by a touchdown or more. I believe that next week's game is in Ohio State, so this is the senior day, the last game. The parents come out. Oh, Johnny's going to make us a fortune. So this game, Michigan should dominate this game. Texas and Kentucky. Texas 20.5, 47 to Kentucky. This is an under game. Kentucky can't score and has a great defense. Texas, great defense. They don't score too much anymore anyway, so we'll see. But Kentucky brings it. They have the defense. They just don't have a quarterback. Now here's the game. Arizona State, 3.5, 49 to BYU. BYU was undefeated. Now they lost, and I called it that Kansas would beat them. But I'm taking, I think BYU is a live dog here. Although Arizona State, Scatterboo, and the other, it should be a good game. But I think I had BYU favored, and I was going to take Arizona State. But if they're going to make Arizona State favored, then I'll take the dog. Thank you very much. The prime game, I'm just thoroughly confused. Prime is 2.5, 59.5. Was 3, 59 to Kansas, who just beat BYU and played Kansas State good and beat Iowa State. Kansas is not an easy out here. This is not an easy out. Colorado's been playing well. However, the game's in Kansas. They just upset BYU at BYU. I think Kansas wins this game also. I wouldn't be surprised. And it won't be high. Well, it could get high scoring because if Kansas takes the lead, then Prime Jr. will start throwing the ball all around. It could get high scoring. It's 53. I think we get into the 50s. Maybe it's a 27-24 type of game. Maybe it's 28-24 because I want to get the over in. But, Kansas, don't fuck with Kansas. Right? They're a good team. Colorado's been playing excellent, but this is a trap. You know how I hate road favorites, and you know how this is a road favorite. So Kansas, I think, wins this game. UCF, West Virginia. Where did this game go? Oh, it's right under that. UCF is 361.5. This should be the over we've been looking for. Both over teams, both 30 defenses. This I'll buy over. The Oak State game, I don't know, and the Arizona, I don't know what they're drinking, but this should be our overplay. Louisville Pitt, this should be our overplay. Let's see if the Pitt quarterback's playing. Injuries, Pitt. Holstein, questionable with the head, so maybe he's got concussion protocol. I don't know. Louisville, DB out, tight end out, wide receiver out, wide receiver out. A little bit of injuries for them. Pitt, the quarterback. So in my world, if the quarterback's out, I don't think the backup's that good. I'll take Louisville to win. If he's playing, then it's an over game. So we got to wait for it's a Cam Rising all over again. Missouri against Old Mississippi State. Missouri 7.5, 57.5. Interesting game. Missouri a B, 20 defense, but we've seen them. They woke up against Oklahoma. Old Mississippi State scoring a lot. I don't know. It's hard to say because does Missouri play? But what sticks in my mind is Old Mississippi State putting up 31 on Georgia. So it could go either way, I think. Probably more of a higher scoring game, but we'll see. My Texas State, we locked them last week and they won for us. I love the look on people's faces. You like Texas State? Who's Texas State? And then they win and they're like, how did you do that? 21 and 59. 20 and a half, 50. So the line really hasn't moved. Georgia State's a W with the 31 defense. Texas State, an 18 with the 20. And I'll tell you, this could be the first quarterback drafted, this Jordan McLeod. He's a big, he can run and he's got a cannon. He's more like Josh Allen, I think. He can run, but he's big, but he can throw. And, I hear them, oh, there's no good quarterbacks in the draft. Oh, yeah? There's this guy, there's Pavia, there's Gabriel from Oregon. What the fuck are they talking about? There's plenty of them. This Indiana guy from Ohio. Okay, I'm going to see if I have 25 to spend. Oh, I don't want to take your last 25, G. See you in the morning. Have a good night, guys. Okay, take care, G. Feel good. Real D, class is in session. Join the class, Real D. Take a seat. Grab your notepad. So, again, Texas State, 20 and 58. Georgia State, who's kind of a weak with the 31 defense. Boise, 22 and a half, 55 and a half to Wyoming. Boise has to win this game for the playoff and everything else. Look for Gentry. They'll give him the ball 30 times. He'll get 280 yards and 5 touchdowns against Wyoming. You should have a big day. My revenge for the Navy game. I got Notre Dame 14 and a half, 45 and a half to the Army. It's cold in Notre Dame. A and A. Army's an A team with a 10 defense, if you can believe that. They played some decent teams, and Notre Dame an A with an 11. This should be a very strong defensive game. Washington State 11 and a half, 56 to Oregon. I don't care. Why am I saying that? Baylor 7 and a half, 50 and a half to Houston. I don't know. Baylor should win, but I don't know what happened to Houston last week. Houston beats Kansas State. Houston beats Utah and loses to Arizona. Like, are you fucking kidding me? So I don't know. I see the chat keeps being disconnected and then connected back. What the AI must be having fun with it. So I don't know. I think Baylor is the better team here, but it's at Houston. I don't know. Let's go. Alabama, 13 and a half, 46 and a half to Oklahoma. Alabama is in a must-win, do or die. So is Mississippi. So is Texas. So is Texas A&M. There's about 7 of them, right? It's Texas A&M, Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, and Ole Miss all have to win to get. I don't know how many playoff spots they're going to have, 2 or 3. So this will be very interesting. So Alabama needs the game. Oklahoma, they're terrible this year. Iowa State, Utah. Does Iowa State need it? Yeah, Iowa State can still get there if BYU and Colorado lose. Iowa State's back in the lead. So they need the game. Utah just can't get Cam Rising to play, and the backup hurt his knee. They got Luke Wilson, and they're getting run over. Everybody's killing them. So Iowa State's the better team here. The public really likes Oklahoma plus the points. Can't believe it. Okay, so why would anybody like Oklahoma here? Are they not watching Milrose and Alabama light it up? They're not going to stop Milrose, and they don't have a quarterback, and they don't have a coach, Oklahoma. But Real D, I don't see the line. It's 13 and a half, 14, and 46 and a half. It's been 13 and a half the whole week. So I'm not seeing the line move. I don't know what, when you say the public likes Oklahoma plus, not enough to move the line. This is, as of right now, this is 8:30 on a Friday night. Now we'll see in the morning, but Uh, I'm not seeing Oklahoma money. They might like it, but they're not betting on it. But I don't see where Oklahoma has a chance in this game. All right, LSU 7.5, 53.5 to Vandy. Of course, we like uh, Pavia. LSU looks terrible. Vanderbilt's got a good defense, and they got Pavia. So I don't think LSU blows them out like South Carolina did. VT and Duke, same thing. VT 347 to Duke. This game's even. I like Duke as a live dog. Let's check injuries on Drone. He's still questionable with an undisclosed. This is Virginia Tech's quarterback. They got a running back questionable. They got a running back out. They got a running back questionable. They got a wide receiver questionable. Another one, a third one. They're pretty beat up, Virginia Tech. And of course, Duke probably has nobody injured on Duke. They're too smart to get injured, right? Tight end out, wide receiver out, and running back questionable. So they're pretty healthy. They got a very good defense, and I like Malik Murphy, their quarterback from Texas. He's seems really good. Duke will play very well in this game. Cincinnati, Kansas State. Cincinnati's been playing horrible. So is Kansas State. Kansas State's 8.5 and 53 was 52. Normally, this would be well. Kansas State isn't really the over team that the others are. TCU, Texas Tech. They're a B team. They got a 22 defense. Cincinnati and E with a 23. Game's at Kansas State. I think Kansas State gets the W here. Cincinnati is just they're not that strong. I like Sorsby, but this is probably Kansas State's. When you get to this part of the year, and I like to see AI throw this in, you got like senior night, right? This is their next week. They're probably at somebody. So this is their last home game, and so everybody cries and they play a big game because it's the last. Now it doesn't guarantee the win, but it does. They're much more motivated than Cincinnati. They'll have their senior day next week, so that's what you have there. USC, UCLA, USC 4.5, 51. They finally went to Maivia, the guy from Vegas who I said they should have started with, and they went to Miller Moss. Maivia beats Nebraska. And I think this will be a similar game. UCLA is playing much better. USC is playing much better. I think this is a good game. I think there'll be points, and I think this will be very close because UCLA is playing well. And the best part I love is they both play in their colors. So USC's in the red with the gold pants, and UCLA's in the blue with the gold pants. And it's always like, well, why don't they do that all the time? BYU and Utah did that. Utah wore the red, and BYU wore all blue. It was very, very pretty to watch. And the last game, Fresno State 344.5 to Colorado State. Colorado State's a very live dog in this game. They need the game, and they've been playing very well. Fresno State, Mikey Keene, I don't know. Now it's his probably last home game, so we'll see. I'm not sure on that, but we'll see. Let's see if we get a Michigan-Ohio State spread for next week. They do have some lines. I don't know what it is. Ohio State 9.5, Ohio State 10.5, and Ohio State 23.5. I would go to FanDuel and take Michigan in 29.5, and I'd go to Bet365 and take Ohio State minus 3.5. Hopefully it's 9.5, and we will jump on Ohio State. Good games now. We have Clemson, South Carolina, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, which is a very good game. Louisville, Kentucky, Georgia Tech. Georgia's 20.5. I'm taking Georgia Tech with King in a heartbeat. Ole Miss 27.5, 60 to Mississippi State. That should be a very high scoring game. So we will see. Anyway, that be it. We'll talk pros on Sunday. I have one lot going in the pros and one lot going in college, and a lot of strong plays in the pros. Careful on the Niner game. Purdy hurt shoulder, isn't practicing. Joey Bosa hurt hip, isn't practicing. I think Purdy takes the shot, North Dallas 40, and because they have to have it. Uh, and that could explain why he's not playing well. Philadelphia, whatchamacallit, Smith, the receiver, is Devontae Smith. He's hurt, hamstring. He's questionable. We will see. The Harbaugh Bowl goes Monday night. I I think it's a repeat of the Baltimore-Pittsburgh game. You've got this great defense in San Diego, and Lamar is going to choke in it, just like he choked against Pittsburgh. We will see. But anyway, that's pros. One lock going, which I love the lock in the pros. College, one lock going tomorrow. It might be a second one. I'm sure I can find it. I just want to be careful because I know you bet more on it as I do, and I want to, well, maybe I won't lock it, and then maybe it'll win. I did play Indiana over Ohio State, getting 19.5. The line moved down to 10. So I get a 9-point teaser. Thank you very much. So we will see. Anyway, that's it with that. Back to gold, Bitcoin. So gold, 27.11 to 27.15. It went from 25.30 to 27.30. So it went up $200 in a week and a half. So the election, this is the thing I have about Bitcoin. The election's like that. It's this distraction, and gold goes down and Bitcoin goes up, and you think, well, it's because of Trump, and it's got nothing to do with Trump. But now, a week later, and everything settled down, gold could jump back up. So Putin's he keeps doing these nuclear talks, but he has to. He's just saying it. He doesn't mean it. He's not going to nuke anybody. He's a businessman. He wants to do business with you. He doesn't want to nuke you. So he's got to say it to scare you into not doing it. And that's kind of what he's doing. Anyway, so look for the markets. You want limited stuff. The dollar is just about collapsed. There's nothing Trump's going to do. I mean, Trump got into office. All of the recession will be gone, and Bitcoin will turn into money. No, Bitcoin's not money. It's not. You can't. It's made so me and G trade it. It's not made to be used as money. It's not made to be going to the grocery store and the restaurant. It's not. It's decentralized, which means only real money is stuff that the government says is money. And if you're not calling, it's like calling a Rolex watch money. No matter how much you want it to be, it isn't money. Now, does it have a value? Of course, but it's not money. Money is the medium of exchange that I go to the grocery store and buy hamburgers and chicken. And Bitcoin is not made for that. So quit pretending it's digital gold and quit pretending it's money. The fact they call it a cryptocurrency doesn't make it a doesn't make it money. It's like this being a currency. Well, it's a Mahomes currency. No, it's not. It's a card. It's an asset that has a value. The Rolex is an asset that has a value, the Mantle card, but nowhere in God's green earth is Bitcoin, that's not even real, a currency. So just watch it, see that it's 98,000. Wonderful. I'm happy for all the people making money if they're smart enough to get out of it. So again, I take you to the casino. You start with 5,000 playing blackjack. You get up to 10,000. What are you going to do? You're going to keep playing till you lose it all, or are you going to be smart and say, "Hey, I'm cashing out. I made $5,000." You got to cash out. If you're a professional gambler, you're cashing out. You made the money. That's the goal of a professional gambler, is to make money. So you're looking for the hot streak. You got it. Goodbye. But in this world with the Bitcoin, nobody is smart enough to take the profit. They're just, it's going to 1 million. Red's going to hit in the roulette wheel 7,000 times in a row. Yeah, I don't think so. that's what you got with Bitcoin. It's just going, but it's not. It doesn't go like that. There's no way. I don't know where the demand's coming from. I don't know who's buying it at 90,000 an hour. What is it? A coin? I don't even know what it is. It's not a coin. It's a digital. It's a crypto. It's a 90,000 a crypto. A one and a zero, a beep and a bop. So anyway, that's what you have. Don't get made off. There's no reason this thing is priced at what it is. It's not real. There's nothing to back it. It is worthless. Okay, it has a value, like a pet rock had a value, or a Beanie Baby had a value. If people want it and they demand it, it has a value. It doesn't mean it's worth anything. And how long is it going to go? Oh yeah, try to sell a Beanie Baby now. Yeah, you get $2 for it. So it's hot now because people see it going up and they want to grab on. They want to make money. That's how badly people want to make money. They're willing to do anything without even understanding what they're doing. So it's just going up and they don't even get it. And so it goes up and, oh, I'm making money. Now, when do you sell? I don't know. This was the question I asked Alex with his stock. He's sitting there with the stock and the stock's going up. And he, when are you going to sell it? Well, I won't. Well, why? Well, I don't know. It's just going to keep going up. And that's the problem. Let's see. Anybody emailing? Nope. Anyway. So understand what you're doing. Everything that we're doing is about making money. It's investing, it's gambling, it's the same thing. You understand why you do it. You're looking at return on investment. We bet football because we're good at it and we pick a lot of winners and we make money at it. We do the same thing with gold or baseball cards or Rolexes or whatever. It's an asset. And like gold, we can sit on it because we don't want to be in dollars. So dollars are worthless. So we go into gold. But that's not like a game of roulette or craps. We're not, oh, when gold goes to 5,000, I'm going to sell it. No. We're holding gold. Maybe at 30,000, we might sell an ounce or two of it, but that's it. Because what are you going to sell it for? See, when you sell your stocks, so Alex has his stock and okay, it goes up. When the dollar goes out, what are you going to sell it for? You don't want to be back in dollars. And since the dollar is the mechanism to price the stock, you're in big trouble. People aren't getting that. You got to get out of the dollar or they don't believe it. Ask the Romans. This is why I bring that up. So people are having a very hard time grasping reality of what's going on. They're printing the dollar, 36 trillion in debt, 160 in printed, but they don't understand what it is. It makes the value of the dollar go to zero. It's at one. Like I said, the Pepsi in 1971 only cost you a dime. Now costs you, let's say, $3. Well, that means the value of the. Why can't I buy it for a dime now? Because the dollar doesn't have value to buy it for a dime. It takes $3 to buy the same Pepsi that you paid 10 cents for. Go watch these shows in the, Leave It to Beaver or these 70s shows, and oh, I got a hamburger for 50 cents. The Beaver went to the movies, and Ward gave him $1 and was bitching, I want change. Now you give your kid a 20 and you wouldn't care if you had change because it's all worthless. So this is the most important concept. There was something that Ron sent to us. So Ron sent us this video. Silver versus savings account over 4 years. And the point was that I don't have to play that video to give you the message. So the guy's analyzing it, and silver, and first he does just putting money into the bank and only getting 1 or 2% return on your money. And then the inflation eats it all up and he makes a little bit of money. But had he bought, I think he was saving $100 a month. So had he done that, he could have bought, silver was like, let's say $15. So he could buy 8 ounces of silver every month. And so eventually he bought, 1,000 ounces of silver, but the silver price went from 15 to, let's say, 25. So he makes like $60,000 because he has so many ounces of silver that he was able to buy for the $100. Even when it went to $20 an ounce, so he's buying 5 ounces, but he's doing this every month. And that's my point. And then all of a sudden, 1,000 ounces goes up $5. He makes a fortune. But the savings account doesn't go anywhere. You're just giving them the $100, and that's all you're doing. And then they're giving you back 2%. And so at the end of a year, you gave them $1,200 versus, let's go $20 an ounce in silver. That's 5 ounces a month is 60 ounces at the end. And you can see what's happening. So the moral of the story is, if you would just, instead of putting the $100 into the savings account, putting the $100 and buying 5 ounces of silver, you're like getting $70,000 because you bought the silver versus $800 in the money. Plus the money's being inflated by our JP Morgan friends. That's why you buy physical, because the dollar doesn't hold its value. But you've got to be smart enough to realize stocks and real estate trust and bonds and money in the bank are all paper. So you're buying stock, you're not getting out of paper. You're buying Bitcoin, you're not getting out of paper. Only silver and gold get you out of paper. Even Rolex, you're in paper, theoretically, is priced in dollars. Anything priced, now gold is priced in dollars, but doesn't need to be. It can just as easily be priced in gold, like oil can be priced in oil, doesn't need to be priced in dollars. So keep that in mind. That's the key to it. There's 2 keys. One, the dollar is worthless. So as I give my Rumpelstiltskin tomorrow, I'm going to take my dollars and turn them into gold. Rumpelstiltskin took straw and turned it into gold. And I'm going to take this phony baloney bullshit and turn it into gold. Now, the problem is nobody believes that the dollar is going out. This is what we struggle with. And that story that Ron was so nice to share with us, nobody understands that. They're all saving and they got their money in the 401k like Luke's friend. And they just don't get it, that you're farther ahead buying silver and gold every month than 401k. I will not take 401k at my job. I don't want anything. I want all my money, and then I can run and buy an ounce of gold here and a half ounce of gold there and accumulate the gold. That's my That's my goal, right? I don't want to be in stocks because they're worthless. These stocks are so overvalued anyway, but the fact they're in dollars, the dollar's worthless, but people can't wrap their hands around it. I don't know why. It's an easy concept, but it's a Austrian concept. And most people are Keynesian. So if you're taught the sky is green and I come out and say the sky is blue, you're going to look at me like I'm nuts. That's the problem. So you think, oh well, he thinks the sky's blue. He's out of his fucking mind. And it would seem that way if you were told the sky is green. You are told that you can keep printing money and nothing will happen to the value. But you're wrong. But how do you believe it then, right? I see I'm frozen. Come on, unfreeze. Unfreeze. Who say buy stocks and they don't realize they're just salesmen selling the stocks. The financial planners selling the stocks. That's where they make the commission. That's why they want you in stocks or in the banks. They want you in money because they make money off your money in the banks, and in the stocks, they do the same thing. They get commission when you buy stocks or bonds, right? So that's the story you're being snowed on. Look at Bitcoin. Well, I'm in Bitcoin. Why? Well, it's going up. Why? Well, I don't know, but it's going up. Maybe it's supply and demand. No, it's not, but maybe it is. And that's the problem. And people don't understand, but you just have to learn. And they don't want to learn, or they think they're learning, or they're learning from the wrong people who are buying Bitcoin. It's going to $1 million. Yeah. Okay. But when the dollar goes out, it's still going to be worth zero. So it's like you're accumulating fake money, but I have a lot of it. Well, it's still fake. Remember the wheelbarrow in 1923 in Germany? The guy would take the wheelbarrow to buy the milk. So he had a lot of money, but it wasn't worth anything. Zimbabwe, Venezuela, Greece, they had a lot of money, but it was worthless. So you have current countries, Argentina, Brazil, Greece, Turkey, these countries with heavy inflation, Sri Lanka, Pakistan. I'm not quite sure you see it happening. Oh, well, we're the U.S. It can't happen to us. It's the concept. You print the money, it goes to zero. It doesn't matter what country it is. It doesn't matter what currency it is. Russia's heavy inflation. The ruble's 99 to 1. $1 buys Daria 99 rubles. Doesn't do her much. She goes to the grocery store, she can buy chicken and bread for the 99 rubles. That's the problem. And that's what you have to be careful of is the dollar's worthless. You have to come to that realization. That's why you buy the gold. What you want to do is get out of the dollar. That's the point, which means stocks, bonds, and real estate trust. Anything in dollars you got to get out of. But you're seduced into thinking, oh, look I can buy Amazon. It just keeps going up, and Bitcoin, it just keeps going. Those are dollars. It's Hansel and Gretel. The wicked witch has the oven going and all the chocolate, and the kids are eating all the chocolate until they go into the oven. And that's what's happening here. All this stocks and Bitcoin is the chocolate, and you're eating it. And it's just you're gonna have big problems. You're being set up, and the only savior of Rome is gold and silver. Oh, well, it doesn't move. Yeah, but it's gonna be there. It can't be inflated because it can't be printed. That's the key to gold. You can't print it, so therefore the supply is limited. Well, what if there's no demand? Good point. But every central bank in the world, but the US is buying it. Russia and China are buying it out of their minds. So is Saudi Arabia and South Africa and the UAE and India. So there is the demand, which is going to make the price go to the roof because they're buying it. There is a limited supply. So unlike Bitcoin, where there's not a limited supply, I don't consider 21 million limited. So with Bitcoin, you have 21 million, but how is it 100,000, but yet it still hasn't hit 21 million? Well, who's buying it, driving the price up? Because by theory, then, if it's supply and demand, then you'd have run out of, the only way it can go up is if you've run out of supply, right? So the only way Mahomes can go up is if more than 50 people want it, because there's only 50 of them. So if 60 people want them, the price goes up by the 10 people who want it but don't have it. Well, theoretically, that's gold. More people want it than there is. But Bitcoin, you supposedly have 21 million. The price shouldn't move until you get to 21 million and one, because there's supply. Oh, I can buy one. Okay. So why is the price um, why is the price going up if there's still Bitcoin available? Theoretically, it shouldn't be going up, right? Unless it's a Ponzi scheme, right? It can't go up. If I only have 49, so let's pretend this is Bitcoin. If I only have 45 buyers for the 50 count, like Bitcoin, we don't have 21 million yet. We're at 17 million. So if I only have 45, how can the price possibly go up? Because there's still 50 available, right? It's when there's 51 buyers for 50 is when the price goes up. So how is Bitcoin going up? If supposedly they're at 17 million Bitcoin, but it's 21 million made. The price should never go up until all 21 million are sold. So something's funny going on. Use logic here. Don't listen to me. Use logic. I know how you are led down the path of the Bitcoin. I get it. It's the wrong path. It's misleading. It's like D saying the public's on Oklahoma. Well, why isn't the line moving then? It doesn't make any sense. So I don't believe what he says until I see the line. The line's the information. If Oklahoma was now 9, or if Alabama was now 9 instead of 13, I'd go, oh yeah, I could see that, but I don't see it. Same thing with Ohio State. Why did that line drop? I guess everybody's on Indiana, but you can see everybody's on Indiana because the line went from 13 to 10. You don't see it in the Oklahoma, so I'm not buying that at all. Anyway, so that's really what you have is what's going on there. So please be careful, understand it, but you've got to understand the rules of making money, which is gambling. Everything's gambling. You go to the casino to play poker and blackjack, craps, roulette, baccarat. You start with us. You start with $5,000. What's my goal? Well, if I get to $7,000, I'll win $2,000. I'll be happy. Maybe it's $8,000. Maybe it's $10,000. And as you get up, what do? Well, when you hit the 10,000, let's say your goal is 10,000, so you made $5,000, you leave. You take your profit and leave. That's how a professional gambler wins. He gets up and he leaves. He takes his profit. He keeps. I'll do this 37 times. I'll be very happy. You don't keep playing and keep playing and keep playing and never leave, because eventually you will lose all your money because of the house edge. So keep that in mind. That's the point of it. So please understand this, that you cannot you can't go in blind. You can't be stupid to think, oh, it'll keep going up. And if I buy at 75,000, what's my exit strategy? I'm going to leave at 90 or 100. Alex wants to play this stock, and he's, what was it? I believe space industry is in its infancy. Based on what? We had NASA, men meant to the moon in the 60s. So it's not in its infancy. It's mature by now. There's just you can't go into a rocket because you'll die of the radiation poison 100 miles out of the Earth's atmosphere. You can't travel in space. There's radiation. You'll die. So there's no space. You can go up in a rocket, I guess. We can fly. Even that. I fly to Europe. I'm exhausted, and it's 30,000 feet. That's all you can go up. You go 500 miles an hour. You get there, and you're exhausted because of the plane ride, because that takes a big toll on you to go 500 miles an hour for 6 hours. So I don't agree that the space industry, airplanes are space. Now, if you mean go into the outer space, that's why you got satellites. So I don't know what he's talking about, the infancy. It's not in its infancy at all. What Elon Musk is doing, nobody cares. Okay, he's got X and he's going to fly a rocket where? Where are you flying it to, Musk? NASA's done because there's nothing else to do. We supposedly went to the moon, which nobody believes. We only did it once because if we actually did it, people would have died from the radiation poison. It was done in a back lot in California with the people with all the lights and all the shadows and swinging a golf club. Yeah, let me go to the moon and I'll bring my golf club and I'll swing it there. Yeah, I don't think so. So I'm not buying that. I don't smell what he's cooking there. So just be careful. So he doesn't know, but he's making the investment. He doesn't listen that the dollar's going out, or he won't believe it. Well, what can you do about that? I can only tell you what I see based on my skill set and my intelligence and what I've learned. So you either believe it or you don't. He doesn't believe what I'm telling him. Okay, no problem. We'll see who's right. But I know I'm right. That's the difference. I know what's happening. I know if you print money, it goes to zero. And I give you examples: Rome, Spain, Venezuela, Zimbabwe, Germany. I can give you 20 examples where the dollar, France, English, Spain, the dollar went to zero because they printed too much. So, yeah, I've learned that. And so if you believe me, fine. If you don't believe me, why not? I'm giving you examples. I'm not just coming up with this. This isn't like my opinion. This isn't like, well, I think. This is because I have a degree in this and I've learned it. So I'm telling you what I've learned. So actually, you're sitting in class. So I don't get it. Is it a macho thing? Well, I know Howard told me not to be in stocks, but I'm going to be in stocks anyway. Gosh darn it! Or he's in his 401k and he has no choice. He's got to be in stocks, or he's got to pay the penalty. And he doesn't want to pay the penalty. He's going to lose because when the dollar goes out, the stocks go out. This is what's going to happen. Look at China. I show you those videos of China for a reason. It's happening in China. It's going to happen here. People in the streets starving in China. They can't afford their houses. This is what's going to happen here. Well, it can't happen here. We're America. Bullshit. Anywhere that you fuck the money up is where it happens. That's where that movie Les Miserables, the play, Les Miserables, the French Revolution, and that's because of hyperinflation that the French did. Nobody could eat. The money was worthless. That's exactly what you're going to see. Well, I'll have to sing in a play, and then John will come in, and the policeman will chase him, and that's what'll happen. And then you got to face the master of the house. Hysterical, but that's what, because of hyperinflation, they fucked the money up. Everybody was poor, so they said, "Well, fuck it, we got to revolt," and that's coming. Just because Trump's in charge doesn't matter. It's what's he going to do? The money's gone. It's printed. You can't do any. Once the money is printed, the money's printed. Your only option is to come out with gold backed currency very fast, but you don't have any gold. You come out with the gold backed currency, and that's what you do. That's the only out. If I was in charge, that's exactly what I am doing. I'm in charge of the Howard country, the professor, and what am I doing? I am being Rumpelstiltskin. I'm turning my useless dollars into gold and silver. That's how you win. That is the only way to win this game. But the government won't do it because they want to print. And then they're talking, well, there's nothing Trump can do because there's all these people, they need Social Security and welfare and this and that. I would just pay them out, but I would come out with, it doesn't even matter what you do. You need gold backed currency. You need good currency, right? That's the problem. You need strong currency. You don't have it. Now, I think Luke was saying about gold backed treasuries. Well, okay. It's a good point, but you need the gold to actually do it. And you actually have to show that you have gold so you can do it. When we know Russia does and we know China does, he who has the gold makes the rules, and we don't have the gold. That's why we keep trying to keep the price down, because if we keep the price down, who does a higher price benefit? Those with the gold, and that's what's happening. So be very careful. The Roman Empire went out, and I guarantee you, all you guys would be in Rome, saying the same thing. I'm going to be in, the Cleopatra stock and the Mark Antony stock and the Julius Caesar stock, and they all died. So you got to be careful there. It's not. You've got to. I think the problem is you're learning from the wrong guys, right? You're learning from the Reicherts and Rules and these guys and Peter Schiff. They don't know what they're talking about. They're wrong. They're Keynesians, and that's what you have to understand is they don't know what they're talking about. So therefore, they're wrong. But you're listening to it, thinking it's right. And I'm telling you, they're all. The only one I've met that actually knows what they're talking about is Mark McGuire and Egon. That's why I tend to show you those two. They're the ones that are smart and make and understand what's going on. All right, that's your lesson for tonight. Again, free markets is what we want. Freedom is really what we're all about. Gold and silver give you freedom. Anything to do with the dollar is not freedom. It's slavery. You'll be told what to do because they control you, because they control the money. However, they don't control gold and silver, so you are free. Now, you choose, do you want to be free or not? And you're going to get bailed in a bank, and you're going to get stocks, and you're going to go try to sell them, and they're not going to give you the money, and you're going to be Bitcoin, and you're going to try to sell it for the coin, and you're not going to be able to get the money out. Think, McFly, think. This is what's happening. And they're fucking you over, but it's all George Soros, but you're not really understanding it. You've got to think it through, and I'm trying to help you get there, but I still see I got a ways to go with some of my guys. They're not getting it. They're in stocks, and you're like, I've been out of stocks for I think 4 years now. I would play gold stocks, and that's it. And I'd buy 1,000 shares, and it'd go up 50 cents, and I got out before I got hurt. And I haven't played that in years. Now I go buy physical gold, and that's all I do. And it's just I know the price is going to go up, and more importantly, I know the dollar is going to zero because I've seen it happen 25 times. It's going to happen another 25 times. All the countries will go out who have printing money, and that's every country in the world except China and Russia and India see it, and they're going, fuck, we're buying gold because we see it, and all the central banks see it, and they're all buying gold. Why do you think they're buying gold? Because they see the dollar's collapsing, and they don't want to be holding the dollar. So they're getting out of the dollar and going into the only thing they can, which is gold. Why do you think they're doing that? So this is what you must understand. Just follow the logic, follow the lead. Even if you don't believe me or you want to believe Reichert and you want to believe Rude, look what's happening. I mean, just understand. And that's really the key to it. So with that, again, free play is Indiana over Ohio State. A lock in college, a lock in pro, my normal 7 or 8 strong plays that go with it. And off we go. So again, tonight we got UTSA minus 10 points to Temple, and the game's at UTSA. I would say they're going to win by at least 40 points, but we'll see. I hate these Thursday, Friday night games. They're always anyway. We'll see what happens. But that's class for tonight. Have a nice night. www.teaserking.com. If you want to do what G's doing or what Alex does, they just they can either they just PayPal me the money, or you can use Venmo, and then I'll send you the password. Anyway, take care. Have a good day, everybody. Good luck this weekend. Get out of dollars and into gold before it's too late. The gold's becoming very scarce, very pricey. On eBay, I'm not seeing that 100 over spot. I'm looking at on 1 ounce golds today, and I'm seeing 2,900, even though it's at 2,700. Gold should have been 28 and a quarter. I'm seeing 29s. I'm seeing 775 quarters. I'm seeing 350 tenth of an ounce that should be threes. So I'm seeing a lot of ounces that are not 100 over. So I think it's getting very scarce. And once it dries up, you're going to pay a lot for it. The guy number 51 of the 50 is going to pay a lot for this Mahomes card. I paid 50 for that card. I wouldn't let it go now for under 2,000. And maybe that's low, but we'll see. Anyway, good luck. Questions, www.teaserking.com. You get my email. Happy to answer. I can't give picks out unless you buy, and you got the free pick Indiana. The other plays are my opinions. They're not my picks. So if I give you, I think this will happen or that, that's what I do think, but it's not, again, they're not picks. So keep that in mind. So if you're thinking of betting it and I happen to agree with you or you agree with me, that's one thing. But if I just say, well, I think this will happen, those aren't picks. So be careful with that. Because I can't bet every game or all the games I say. I just take a select few and try to bet them. All right, everybody. Have a good night. Good luck this weekend. www.teaserking.com. All right. I will see you tomorrow about 10-ish, maybe 10:15. Ciao.